This was a great show, and we were committed to this world and doing the best version of it from day one.
This started out as a job. It's something else now, and you know it.
We all knew it was the end of something very special, and we were really lucky to have these very special 7 years.
It's so weird to think that it's coming to an end, because every time I sit down and have these interviews, you know, there's always next year. I think that, you know, this is really it. This is the end of it.
Don't worry, Arya. Someday we will all have jubilation.
I think it's hitting different people different times. So like every now and then there'll be like a random person crying.
Knowing that we all accomplished what we have, being on such a successful show that's lasted 7 years, is a dream come true for all of us.
I'll give you a discount. You can hear my whole life story over a chili cheese dog.
7 seasons is that's a really long time, you know? I mean, a lot of shows that are really successful might go 4 years, maybe 5 years.
I had this like intuitive feeling that my life was really about to change.
I love this song. It's so pure.
I specifically remember reading the script. I remember just seeing the title on the front page, Pretty Little Liars. I was like, that sounds incredible. This sounds like really special.
I truly remember, you know, my first interview talking about the show, our first table read with all of the girls. I knew what everybody was wearing. I have such vivid memories of walking into the building when I was testing for the role of Emily.
I think we all felt like there was something very special about this show when we were shooting the pilot. We were all super positive, and there was this sort of expectation that the show would get picked up and that fans would really like it. But I don't think we ever knew or could understand at that time how important it became to our fans.
We all flew out to Canada in Vancouver, and it was Thanksgiving, so we had like a Thanksgiving dinner out there at a hotel with all the creators and the cast. That was kind of like our first moments to talk and get to know each other. And then we spent like 2 weeks there and shot the pilot. It was so cold.
When we had to shoot the scene where Allison and I were fighting outside in our bikinis, it was actually snowing because it was December in Vancouver.
What the hell are you doing? She's gonna find out.
And they had to put like a tarp over us because you could see it in her hair. So it's supposed to be summer, we're supposed to be mad and like in this huge fight, and we are freezing our asses off.
The network had seen a previous scene that I had done in the evening, and apparently they gave the note that I looked dead. So they had to paint me entirely pink. Like my entire body had to be painted pink.
And they're in bikinis, and I was just inside eating a cookie for the scene, so I was like, thank God I'm not you guys.
I mean, I remember vividly meeting Ian for the first time and working with him, and we were both really nervous.
When we were about to shoot the making out, I was flossing, and I was like, now, are you okay if I were to place my hand on your leg? Is that, you know, I don't want to, whatever makes you comfortable. So, hey, no, that's fine. Are you comfortable? And now we don't care.
Everyone always asks, what's your favorite scene? Or what's your favorite episode? Or what's your favorite line? And they all kind of blur together for me.
The most iconic are obviously going back to the night that Allison disappeared. For so long, the entire mystery was wrapped up on what happened in that night, which is why we were, even 5 years later, I was still being put in that Argyle red sweater, and Sasha was still being put in that yellow top, and we still had to shoot fight scenes 5 years later about like what happened that night when I tried to kill her.
I remember shooting all those fun, very over-the-top party scenes where we would come in our dresses, and it was just such a strong presence, you know, each of us looking completely different from one another.
All those sets are super fun because they kind of take you out of PLL. I mean, there was like a circus-themed one, and then the masked one, the ice ball. I mean, it's so fun to be able to dress up and be in a different set for the whole episode, so I think those are always really fun.
It's been really interesting to see people grow as actors. Being on set 5 days a week for 7 years, like, you really see people grow.
Especially the first season, you can see people testing the boundaries of this part of this character.
Is this a gay thing? No, it's a brain thing.
The way that people have brought their own personalities to each part is they just brought more of themselves.
I don't give a damn what anyone else thinks. This is me talking.
You have to rely on instincts and make choices when you're doing a scene that come from your life. You know, when Ashley Benson steps in a shower to escape her mother, and the boy of her dreams is naked in front of her, and they're 16 years old, and her eyes go down there and go up, and it's just, you know, Ashley was Ashley in that moment.
And now, obviously, we're so close and so comfortable to one another, and as are our characters. So it's been kind of cool to play parallel relationships throughout the seasons with the girls, the characters, and in real life.
Sasha's getting married and Troyan's getting married. It's just crazy to see all the changes in our lives and everything we've been through together.
You want to know the truth? Well, boom, here it is. It's like a big bowl of spaghetti that's all tangled.
It's a huge thing in my life. I was 12 when I did the pilot, 13 when I started the first season. I graduated high school, I learned how to drive, I got my license, I made some amazing friends, huge milestones in my life.
I can get really emotional like talking about it because like we really didn't know what was going on. You kind of grab onto people and you try to make a family, but you don't know if it's gonna go to series, and if it goes to series, is it gonna go to a next year? And so you don't quite know how close to keep people or push them away. And I think it's crazy to be at 7 years and really see that so clearly.
You did not just say that.
I did, but I don't think that I meant to.
Nobody knows how much you're going to miss or what you're going to miss until it's just not there anymore.
You tell yourself, like, oh, it's our last season, but it's so far away. And then you do the table read, and they say this is the last one. And then you come to set, and they say this is the last time you're shooting in the barn set. Or this is the last time, you know, Spencer's Great Room, which has been a set for 7 seasons, is getting torn down, and it becomes real, like, wow, this is actually ending.
To realize that there's the finality of like the end of it is just, there's a sadness to that.
Just being here, this is the last time I'll be on this Radley set because they're going to probably start tearing it down tomorrow. It's been incredibly emotional. It is the definition of mixed emotions, because although I'm ready for it to end and I'm excited about new things and where everybody's going to go in their lives, at the same time it's super, super sad to say goodbye. And I cried every day on my way to work and every day on my way home, and often here.
I started getting verklempt after we shot the I do's. When I got back to my dressing room, and I went, that was it. That was it.
You know, you can't be overly indulgent in the emotions all the time. And then we had a few days where we were shooting these scenes where we were supposed to be overly indulgent in the emotions, you know, the wedding scene, this girl saying goodbye. And so it's all of the things that we were feeling that were right under the surface that we're kind of keeping a cap on because we still have a week and a half to shoot. All of a sudden it was like, all right, uncork that, get as messy as you want, let's really say goodbye, let's really think about how hard this is gonna be.
And we structured the final episode so that our last day of shooting, which was midnight on a Wednesday, was with all the girls together. And of course it was an emotional scene where people were supposed to be crying anyway, so that was just a long night of sadness.
There's this last, I think it's the last scene you ever see the girls together, and Arya's leaving to go to her honeymoon. And I'm like, why is everyone crying?
You guys, I'm leaving for 3 weeks. Why is everybody crying?
And they just hug each other. And I think that's just like the moral of the show, I think, is the friendship between these girls.
They gave me the hardest line, the hardest line, which was,
For some reason, this feels like it's the end of something.
so hard to get through in the table read. Even worse to film it.
It's just weird to think that there's gonna be no more Arya scenes. I'm never gonna, like, say a line from Arya again. I almost feel like she's part of my identity. It's, you know, people approach me on the street and it's not just like, I'm Lucy, I'm Arya. Like, I love your character, I love Arya, and I think that it's almost like someone's dying in a way.
I wanted to be an actor or an entertainer my whole life, really. So for this to even occur is surreal. And so there's so much that will be missed.
To have something that year after year provided for us and worked for us and required us to dedicate ourselves to it, whether we wanted to or not, that's pretty amazing that we have come through it on the other side in such a positive way. It's pretty amazing. So that is what I'm most proud of.
I'm really grateful for this whole thing. It's been like the best experience of my life. And I don't know how I'm gonna be next year. I'll probably be crying every day and being like, why am I not on set? Why am I not with these people? Like, I need my people in my life.
As a writer, I can't ask for anything more than that you've created vivid characters who are vulnerable and three-dimensional and have made the audience feel their lives have been enriched by that.
I've made the best of friends, lifelong friends, and people who I've gotten to share so much of my life with. And I've gotten to play such an incredible, special character who really has had, you know, a huge impact on a lot of lives.
It's bittersweet because what a best experience of my life.
Looking back, it's just like a good book. You know, you can look back on it and feel fulfilled, and I feel very fulfilled with my experience on Pretty Little Liars.